Hey folks, John from Complete Technology Solutions, your friend in the computer business. Boy, I bet you guys can't tell what we're about to do, can you? This is one I've been looking forward to for a very, very long time, guys. But listen, I need a favor from you out there. So, a lot of these videos are getting a lot of views, but unfortunately it seems like it's trouble to hit that little like and subscribe button. So, do me a favor real quick. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, because if you like this one, I have a lot of things coming you're really going to dig, and I don't want you to miss it. So there you go. Well, today we're going to do the first of our biggest head-to-head series, and basically we're going to do this by caliber. So today, everything you see here is 68 caliber. We're going to test these for a couple different things. Number one, I want to test these for basic home defense, practicality in the house. Number two, I want to test these for carryability, something you'll be able to actually carry around with you out in the field. And number three, we're going to go for the cool factor. Now, there are a couple things we're going to do. We are going to use a chronometer and chrono each one of these. We're also going to put them. Another thing that occurred to me, if you're in a self-defense situation and you're out in the wild, well, you're not always going to have the ideal environmental conditions. So one thing I've been curious about is the CO2 cartridges on this. Well, what I did is I decided we're going to run the first test, room temperature, and then I froze some CO2 cartridges. They're literally in the freezer right now. So we're going to check those and see exactly what kind of velocities we're getting out of them when they are in extremely adverse conditions. So hang tight. Let me tell you how we're going to set this up. I'll be right back. Yeah, I had to come up with a way to try to make this relatively fair. Since all of these fire the same caliber of ball, we wanted to make sure we were using the exact same ammo on all of them as well. So what we're going to use are these riot balls that we've got right here. Now, these things are really, really hard and really nasty. Guys, I've had a real problem. You'll notice these are in glass test tubes. This is the way I keep them here at the shop. These are so hard that if you shake it, it blows the bottom of the tube out, though. So, yeah, I know. I kind of thought that was funny myself. But these things are the nylon polymer riot balls, and they are no joke. The first test we're going to do, we're just going to be shooting for the chrono. And then we'll break out one of our little skulls and see what it does to the skull, too, because I'm kind of curious with these, especially the way these are firing. Now, no mods out of the box, which means that everything here, including the TCP and the HDS, they are all right back to their factory default. So if you open these up out of the box, no mods involved, this is exactly what you're going to see. So what we're going to do is I'm going to load up each one of these weapons. Guys, every one of these videos is up there. I'm going to drop links periodically up here to each one of these weapons, and because every one of them's got their own video if you want to see it. So I'm going to save you the loading of all these and all that kind of good stuff. So we're going to load them all up. I'm going to move out to our range out there, and we're going to do our first series of tests. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so the way we've got this set up, you'll notice this is a little different than we normally are. We're set up a good 5 feet further back than we normally shoot. I've also got, there's a cardboard box back here with a thin piece of particle board on the front. I want to see if we're getting penetration on that particle board, because that is pretty rigid stuff, and I really want to see what the impact is of these riot balls. So we're going to start with that. As you guys can see, you're going to have the FPS meter right here in the bottom, so you should be able to see it as well. That, like right now, we're not going for accuracy. All we're going for is to see what the feet per second are. Now, I know that our little shotgun is our weakest one. I know that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with it. So let me reposition and get my glasses on here. Okay, hold on. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to move back behind the camera here, guys. You're not actually going to be able to see me, but I'm trying to aim over our FPS meter here. So hopefully we'll get it in our first shot or two. So let's find out if we actually do. All right, so we got 163 out of that. Now that's, guys, we know that this is the weakest of all of them. And actually I had to take a couple shots to get the chronograph to read that. The sweet spot, once again, I'm kind of not used to this one. It's a brand new one for me. So the last couple shots we got were 180 and 192 was the fastest off the first cartridge. So we know that this is not going to be the best one. So let's go ahead, let's put this one down. And let's go ahead and test our salt supply. Now, this one, guys, is one of my favorites. We've got the cartridge loaded here. We've got our CO2 in here. We're going to pull the trigger once, and it is now armed, as you heard. We're going to put this thing on fire, and let's take a couple shots with this one and see what we get out of it. See if we can hit that sweet spot. All right, 218. All right, 217. 216. 221. 221. 221. Wow, I think we killed the board. Hold on just a second. And by the way, guys, I want to show you something. On the salt supply was actually kind of aiming. We're not going for accuracy here, but I just want you to see this. The grouping on this is insane. This is a heavy particle board. That's what we're shooting through. And it's going all the way through this and into that box behind it. So it looks like we have a pretty standard rate of fire on that one. And they look like they were staying in that 220 range. I think I might have one more round. So let's go ahead and fire the one more round. Glasses on. 218. And we're empty. All right, so yeah, about the same. We're still in that 218 to 215 to 220 range. All right, let's go with the Pepperball TCP. Now, we got the cartridge loaded in here, and if you guys don't remember, the cartridge is actually part of the magazine on this one. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to twist this, and as you heard it click, that actually engages the cartridge. And we're going to move back here and let's see what we're getting out of this. Now, these are stock configuration, no modifications. 260, 275, 266, 265, 267, 270. Wow. That is a nasty customer, guys. 270 feet per second. That's nasty. All right, now let's go ahead and test my sidearm. You guys have always seen me carrying this Byrna. And we've already got the riot balls in here and a fresh cartridge. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to leave this on safe. We're going to pull the trigger once. Byrna's now charged. We're going to put it on fire. Here we go. Let's see what we get out of this. Whoa. All right. 251. 240. 241. 244. 244 and empty. So, guys, the Byrna was in second place. Definitely that Pepperball TCP. By the way, I dialed that back, guys. When we in the last testing, I had actually dialed that up a little bit, about 1.5 turns on the valve on the back. So, in stock configuration, it's still getting up in that 280 range. Now, let's go with the next test. I have frozen some CO2. I'll be right back. Here we go. All right, guys, so for this one, we're going to do kind of the same thing. We're using frozen CO2 cartridges. So they've been in the freezer now for about 2 hours, just to kind of simulate real-world conditions. Like if you'd left your Byrna in the console of your car or in your glove compartment or something like that, and it was cold outside, if it would still fire in those kind of adverse conditions. And I want to see how it affects the velocity. And you'll notice down there, guys, I've actually doubled up our board now. So we still have our original board behind it with the cardboard behind that, and we have a second board in front of it. I'm looking for penetration through both of those. Best guess. I don't know if we're going to get it or not. So here we go. We're going to leave the chronometer on, and let's clear that error here. And then we will see what this does. All right, grabbing our glasses. There we go. And let me turn this camera around here, guys. I'm going to make you all dizzy there. All right, here we go. We're going to try it again. Charging the weapon. And we're going, the Byrna is going to be first. This is on the Byrna. I will tell you that those cartridges get really cold out of the freezer. All right, 235. I'm going to fire fast. 227. 220. All right, so 220. We're still getting double penetration down there, guys. All right, let's go ahead and go to our salt supply. All right, same deal. Charging her up. Here we go. And firing. 240. Let you guys watch that as we go. 250, 250, 235, 227, error, oops, and we're out. All right, so the salt supply and the Byrna are about the same when it comes to the velocity that they're firing with those frozen cartridges. Now, this is the one I'm really curious about, guys, because this thing hit like a freight train on that last round. You guys remember that? All right, let's see if I have to clear that error. We're going to find out right now. All right. No, we do not. 270. Jeez. 267. 273. Ha! Wow, guys, look at that backboard. So we are deadly. That is accurate. I'm aiming at the exact same spot, and you guys are seeing it is knocking them all down. All right, hold on. I'm putting this back up. Right now, we are firing from... I'll show you this in a minute, guys. You won't believe this. Hold on. All right. Right now, we're firing from about 30 feet away. And granted, like I said before, this is way further than you would be in a situation where you had to defend yourself. But let's go ahead and run these out. All right. 281. Okay. 263. And we are empty. All right. So, our last one, our shotgun. Now, guys, look, we know that unmodded, that this thing is not super powerful, okay? But it does have enough juice. Let's see if we can actually get something out of this. It's hard to aim this from way back here, so I'm going to do my very best for you. Yeah, error and error. Yeah, and that one actually hit and bounced off, so I'm pretty sure that didn't impact all the way through. But I want to show you something, guys. Let me move the chronometer out of the way here. Sorry about that, guys. The tripod that my chronometer's on has a kind of a weak leg, and it decided to take a digger on me there. So, yeah. But, all right, so let's go over here and let's take a look and see what we actually got out of this. First of all, you're going to notice the grouping is really good. It's stellar at this range. But what I want to show you, no movie magic, we're doing this live. So, this is our first piece that we went through. This is our second piece that we went through. And this is the back of this thing. That box, what you see there, that punched in area, that is exactly what we got. I'm going to bring that up here and show it to you guys. You know, we always get people on these videos that say, oh, well, you know, a gun is better. Well, yeah, of course a gun is better, but we're not talking about that. But that is punched all the way into this thing, guys. I mean, that is really net. So you went through 2 different layers and the box, and that's at 30 feet. Remember, most encounters, 3 to 5 yards, 9 to 15 feet. So you're going to be a whole lot closer than this if you ever have to use this. So it is eminently practical. As far as the Pepperballs, the TCP at stock configuration will not rupture the Pepperballs on the way out of the barrel. If you take that up to maximum, you run a real solid chance of rupturing the Pepperball before it leaves the barrel, and that's not only a mess, but it's dangerous for you. So if you're going to load Pepperballs in that thing, I would definitely keep it at the stock configuration, or maybe just a tad up, not too much, because as you saw, at 270 feet per second, that's fine. It really is. I had a question the other day, too, about that, and all of these are capable of doing it. They were talking about alternating the solid balls and the pepper balls, and absolutely you can do that. But once again, you're pressure limited, so be real careful with the pressure you're using on these things if you're going to run the pepper balls. So, tell you what, let me go ahead and get reset up in the studio here, and I'll give you the rundown on the practicality behind these, and we'll see what you think. Be right back. All right, folks, so look, every single one of these has got a different aspect of freaking awesome, all right? And they all have a different use and a different purpose. Now, this is totally my opinion, guys. Now, granted, from the testing and what we saw, this was the most powerful by far, the Pepperball TCP out of the box. Incidentally, this is the model that the police departments actually do use. By the way, I will have links to all of these down in the description down there. But it's also on the top end of expensive. All of these are relatively expensive with the exception of the shotgun. Because they are at the top of the line of what they are, which is the self-defense pistols. Now, the salt supply is actually, I don't want to use the word copy, but it is almost exactly like the Tippmann TPX. Now, that is not designed specifically for self-defense. That's actually designed for paintball, whereas this is advertised and marketed specifically for self-defense. Now, let's talk loading, all right? I like all of them load easily, all right? I do like the fact, and of all of these, the best loading magazine is definitely the Byrna or the Salt Supply. The TCP is cool and all, but having the cartridge inside, the CO2 cartridge inside the magazine adds a lot of bulk to it. And the fact that you've got to twist it to activate the cartridge is a little bit annoying. And in a situation where you need to protect yourself, it would be really nice to see a safety pull, some kind of a pull on the trigger to be able to puncture that cylinder instead of having to consciously twist that cylinder down, like the Byrna. Now, the Byrna, I love the fact that the Byrna and the Salt Supply both have this where you pull the trigger to puncture the cylinder. That is very, very cool. The Salt Supply will not fire when you puncture the trigger. The Byrna, on the other hand, if you puncture the trigger on safety, it instantly is ready to fire. The next pull on fire is going to be your round. But if you've got the Byrna on fire and you pull the trigger, you will send the first round downrange, but at a lower velocity because it's still pressurizing. So if you're in an emergency situation and you really need to use one of these quick, the Byrna straight out of the holster is going to be able to immediately start firing. So that in itself is kind of cool. Unless you're Mad Max wandering around the Thunderdome, you're probably not going to carry this shotgun around with you. But I ask you, if somebody is breaking into your house and you round the corner holding a double barrel shotgun, I don't care who they are, it's going to freak them out. So this one can be upgraded, and it will be on a future video, to almost double its existing power, to where you can literally fire both barrels simultaneously at the same rate of fire the Pepperball TCP fires. And if you single barrel it, it fires faster than any of these. So that will be coming in pretty soon, actually, in an upcoming video. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe, guys. I really, really appreciate it. It helps the channel out a lot. Now, which one is it going to be? All right. If in home defense, if you're going to set something on your counter or you're going to keep something on your nightstand, I'm going to go with the Salt Supply because it's easy to use. You can't even feel it when you fire it. It's got a lot of bulk to it. But guys, it's big. I mean, it really is. It's like carrying a Desert Eagle around, so it's not a real practical carry item. Or I'm going to go with the shotgun for the impact effect, all right? If you're looking for something to keep in your car for situations you might have to, have a weapon for and you've got a couple seconds to grab it, the TCP is definitely going to be your best option. And I say that because it hits extremely hard, but you do have to be able to twist that in one time. So you could pull it out of your console, twist, you're ready to go. Piece of cake, right? Now, for everyday carry, guys, I'm going to stick with my Byrna. Now, the only drawback to the Byrna is obviously you're using those smaller CO2 cartridges, but the Byrna HD Max does have an extended magazine, and it also has an extended barrel so that you can use standard 12-gram cartridges. However, don't miss your target. Yeah, I know everybody's being funny. But the Byrna, as you can tell, and I'll show you right here, is currently loaded up with Pepperballs and is my current sidearm. That's why you always see me with that on. So, as far as the 68 calibers, guys, you can't lose with any of these weapons, any of them. They're all going to be awesome in their own way. But for day-to-day carry, I'm going to go with the Byrna because it's compact, it's easy to carry, it's easy to conceal if you have to, and it just functions whenever you pull that right off the bat. I did not see a substantial drop-off, and I was hearing horror stories about this with the cold CO2 cartridges, and you guys saw the tests. There was not a huge drop-off. But once again, how often are you going to leave it out in your freezing car? I mean, take your weapon in if you're going to leave it out in freezing all night. So, yeah. Well, guys, that is my wrap-up on the big boys right here, the 68 caliber Pepperball guns. There is one other one that I would like to squeeze into this list, but it's a monster, and it is a very expensive expensive gun. It's not something that I think that anybody's just going to go out and blow cash on, especially when given the alternative to buy an actual gun. But it is one that I would love to test because it hits like a freight train. So I won't even tell you what it is, but keep your eye open. There should be a video coming for that. Well, thank you guys for watching. If any of you have any questions about any of these, please feel free to drop a comment down there or send me an email. I will have links to each and every one of these, including the ammo that we used, down in the description. So enjoy the video. Have a fantastic night and a great weekend. Bye-bye.